Could this be true? Are they getting ready to stop lease purchase programs? As someone who's actually gone through the lease program, I was not a fan of it for these reasons right here. The first time I went into a lease program, 6 months before my truck was almost due to be paid off, the company they broke ties with me for no reason. They wanted their truck back. They got me a rental car, and I left the company. Now, in the contract, the truck was supposed to stay mine, but the truck stopped being mine, do what you want, go where you want, to the point of our truck, it's gonna go where we want it to go. It was a mess, but I was a rookie. That was one of my first lease purchases. Then I came into lease purchase number two. Now, lease purchase number two was with a bigger company. For the most part, it went okay, but the fees and the amount of money when you start looking at how much per month that they keep towards what you make in a month started adding up. A lot of us, we don't really calculate and count. And in the long run, if you tally that up in a month or a year, you would have came off better getting your own insurance and doing power only and pulling other people's trailers. It was a lot cheaper to do it that way. But the problem with the bigger carriers that have their own company drivers is company drivers always trumped the lease operators. So the problem that we were having would be they would tell us to drop a trailer that we were supposed to pick up, which means now we have to drop a load because they wanted their company driver to have that trailer instead of you. Loads were not available, especially when the rates started dropping and the freight started dropping. It was getting a little bit harder for owner operators to find decent loads because those loads went to the company drivers. And after hearing that, with both of those companies that I was working, their first priority is to their company drivers, and their lease operators pick up the back, the whatever they have left, the leftover, which causes a lot of lease operators to end up being kicked out of their lease obligations, their lease contracts, because they're unable to keep up the payment, or be able to keep up the payment but unable to live beyond the payment. Now, lease purchase type number 3 is working for a carrier that does not have company drivers. That one right there, I fared a little bit better because I was not competing against company drivers. So the first beginnings of working with that company did very well until they opened up another division within the company where they weren't calling them company drivers, they were calling them dispatched fleet company drivers. And once they did that, it messed up what we were able to do because the same stuff was starting to apply. They would pull us off of our loads that we had because, remember, the loads are booked under the company, not you, the company. So they would take the load from you and give it to their dedicated fleet services so that they were able to move it, one, for cheaper because they were paid by the mile, and they were under the same, they had to pay the same truck notes because they would rent to own their trucks through the company as well. And like I say, that's where the problem always comes when you're competing with the company that has their own drivers, because their first priority is always going to be take care of the drivers that are in their trucks, even though you have a truck with them, but you're not a company driver. So I'm curious, what do you all think about this maybe possible ending of lease to own operations? Let me know.